Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello, everybody, to today's episode. I'm happy to dive today together with you into a subject that I find really fascinating because it touches upon the connection between gender and numbers. And as you lovers of numerology love to know more and more aspects through which you can understand the numbers and thereby have the ability to further understand yourself and your loved ones, let us understand yet another angle through which you can understand the numbers. So today I really want to talk about and focus on masculine and feminine numbers, or to be more accurate, feminine and masculine qualities within the numbers. Why am I saying more accurate? Because numbers in and of themselves are not limited to a definition of gender, masculine or feminine. However, some of the numbers embody more of the feminine or more of the masculine. So let us dive deeper into that. For starters, let us define what do we mean by masculine numbers and by feminine numbers. So I'll start by defining the masculine. The masculine numbers are numbers that have qualities that are a bit more self-controlled, less emotional, more goal-oriented, a bit more strict, perhaps more connected to the mind or the mental sphere. They are less prone to being easily influenced by other people. Moving to the feminine numbers, we have numbers that are more soft, receptive, more rooted in the emotional domain, more easily influenced. Now, when I'm saying influenced, I mean that I don't mean that necessarily in any negative way. I simply mean that for feminine numbers, it's easier to receive things that come towards us, whether that's emotions or opinions, right? So if people come into our lives and present a new opinion, a new way of thinking, we are more prone to be open to receive them into us. Whereas with more masculine numbers, we will tend to be more attached or more defined in our opinions and beliefs and less flexible when someone presents a new possibility. And each of those approaches has its benefits or its advantages and, of course, its disadvantages. Those of you who already listened to some of my previous podcasts, you know that I don't look at things in a one-dimensional way. It's not like good or bad. It just depends how you use your numbers. And, more often than not, we move between both those sides of the coin. We touch upon the shadow and we touch upon the light. That's how we grow as human beings. So it's not really about good and bad. That's simply how it is. So now, after we defined what masculine numbers are and what feminine numbers are, generally speaking, let us now speak about the numbers themselves. So, coming to masculine numbers, we are talking about 1, 4, 7, and 8. This group of numbers are numbers that tend to be more on the masculine side. If you go back and listen to the episode where I talk about all the destiny numbers from 1 to 9, and you carefully listen to the qualities I describe about 1, 4, 7, and 8, you will see that they're more mental, they're more connected to willpower, effort, consistency, a kind of seriousness, achievement, right? So you can already see they're less emotional, all of them. They're more in the mind. On the other hand, if you will listen to the description of the numbers of the feminine, which are 2, 3, and 6, you will discover how highly emotional these numbers are. And so, as you probably noticed, out of the numbers from 1 to 9, I only mentioned 7. I didn't mention all the 9 numbers. Which ones are the missing ones? 5 and 9. Why? Because 5 and 9 are not exactly masculine and are not exactly feminine. We're not going to dive into the 5 and the 9 today, but I'm just going to mention briefly that 5, to my students, to my numerology students, I always define 5 as an androgynous number. So it's what I call gender fluid number. Whereas the 9 I call a transcendent number. Because 9, you cannot even call it androgynous because it doesn't deal with gender in any way. It's transcendent, so it includes all the qualities, it can flow into any of them, but its main theme as a number doesn't really deal with gender, while 5 does. So now that we are clear about that, let us dive deeper into understanding what does it actually mean masculine and feminine. And here I want to clarify an important point. Many people that come to my readings are worried, for example, when they discover that they have a lot of 2s in their chart or many 6s, and they see why, I'm a man, for example, and I have many 2s. It's wrong. Something's wrong. Don't I need to have more 1s and 8s, right? Like more masculine qualities? And I'm saying, look, or by the way, before I just keep going, it happens also vice versa. Women come to me and they have many 4s in their chart and 8s, and they feel like, oh, I have to be more feminine, more 2, more 6. And I want to say something very important. Masculine and feminine does not in any way equal man and woman. All of us, men and women alike, we have the masculine and the feminine energies living inside of us, working inside of us. None of us is only masculine and only feminine. We wouldn't be able to live as a human being without both sides. It's a bit like the 2 hemispheres of the brain, right and left. 2 hands, 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, right? We have those right and left, masculine and feminine, and they simply balance us and make us into what we are. Each one of us, men and women alike, have varying degrees of balance between the masculine and feminine. One of us can be 50-50, another one can be tending more to the feminine, 60-40, another one can be more 80-20 to the masculine, and so on and so forth. So this changes. And we have to understand that this does not mean I'm not a man if I have mostly feminine numbers, or it doesn't mean I'm not a woman if I have mostly masculine numbers. So it means that's the kind of man and that's the kind of woman I am. We'll come to that again in the end. So what happens when I'm a man and I have mostly feminine numbers? How does it affect me? And what happens to me when I'm a woman having mostly masculine numbers? When I'm a man, what I witness is that men with very strong feminine numbers, especially appearing in the three major calculations, meaning the life path, the expression number, or the soul urge number, very often, first of all, they create a very sensitive man, open-hearted, more emotional, and in a way, it gives that kind of it creates something more round about that man, less mindy, more connected to their emotions, which can be very interesting, right? It can be like something, um, as I said, kind of more round about that man. But however, interestingly, many men struggle with this fact because it makes them feel, and that is due to our social image of how men should be. It makes them feel not manly enough. It makes them feel like they need to fight against themselves. So I see many men that are very sensitive and have a lot of the feminine qualities inside of them, struggling with their image as a man, often trying to stomp on their own sensitivity. The same happens with women, just on the other end of the scale. So women that come to me with mostly masculine numbers, 4, 4, 1, 8, right? Somehow they feel that they are more rigid, they're more strict, they're more mindy, they have a strong willpower, they're very determined, they have strong opinions. They're not the kind of woman that cries over, too many things. And all of a sudden they feel, maybe something is wrong about me. I'm not that kind of woman from the fairy tales. This soft, really kind of like gentle, sweet woman. But again, this is just a social image that we invented. What we see in reality is that men and women exist in all forms, in all combination of energies of masculine and feminine. You don't have just one definition. And so for women, very often they will feel like they have to soften up. They will feel like a conflict with themselves. They will feel like maybe men won't be attracted to them. Maybe they need to become more like a 2 energy, a 6 energy, something more fluid and soft and heartful and so on and so forth, completely overlooking the beauty of their own qualities. So to kind of sum it all up, it's important to understand that when you're a man with many feminine qualities that makes you sensitive and receptive and more accepting, more embracing as a man, or if you're a woman with more masculine numbers, tending to be more decisive, to be more confident about yourself, there's nothing wrong about it. It's very important that you learn to accept and embrace exactly the structure that you've been given. That's the kind of woman that you are. That's the kind of man that you are. So, as you know, numerology is about self-acceptance. Numerology is about realizing, yes, that's the structure the universe, universal intelligence, has given me. That's exactly what I'm supposed to be. There's no mistake. If you're a man with a 2 life path, a 6 expression number, and another 2, in your soul urge, that's fantastic. That means that you are a man that can express a lot of sensitivity, care, service, understanding. You can be a wonderful partner, a listening partner, a caring partner. And if you're a woman with 1s and 8s and 7s, right, you can be a very powerful, intelligent, opinionated, forward-going woman, expressing yourself in many creative ways, but still it will always have that womanly touch because you are in a woman body. And that's what makes it even more interesting sometimes. You will always have that womanly touch with this extra edge of masculine energy. And that's incredible. So why am I saying this? Because I have many clients coming to me struggling, trying to be the opposite of what they are. I'm a woman with many masculine energies. I'm trying to be this kind of fairy woman, soft and sweet. Don't do that to yourself. Why would you do that? Why would you castrate so much of your natural energies? Or if you're a man and you're trying to overlook your sensitivity and gentleness, trying to be this macho, why are you doing this to yourself? You're missing all the beauty that you've been given, the service that you can give, the subtlety that you can touch. So once we embrace our numbers, once we embrace our masculine and feminine qualities in the numbers, we also allow ourselves to heal. Many men, for example, with feminine numbers that don't embrace themselves can have a lot of issues with their sexuality, for example. Whether it's erectile dysfunctions or anxiety, right? Like performance anxiety and so on and so forth. Or women can have, they can be too judgmental and harsh with themselves and with their partners, and expect too much of themselves and their partners, and therefore be less open to feeling the orgasmic feelings, right? So these are just things that we do to ourselves when we don't accept the structure, when we don't relax into our structure. These are just, right, small examples. So as a conclusion, my friends, embrace your structure. Embrace your structure. Remember, masculine and feminine doesn't equal man and woman. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope this adds yet another perspective, another angle from which you can understand your own chart and the chart of your loved ones. Enjoy, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.